got here is we're doing a paint job on Anthony's 27 Catalina, the rolling tip. We've already done the first coat, as you can see. Pretty nice. Looking not so bad already. And we're using Interlux Bright Side 1 part polyurethane. Real easy to work with, as long as you have the magic ingredient. 333 brushing thinner. Mix the right amount of this stuff in it, and I don't care what you do with it and how rough you could throw it at the boat and it's going to lay down and look like it's been shot. This paint's been sitting a while, so it's going to take a little love. We got what's left of yesterday's paint right here. It's got a little 333 in it. It's kind of ready to go, but looks like it's going to need a good stirring too before we do anything with it. Using Largo Blue. And when you work with this stuff, the important thing is pretty much getting the mix right. If you get the mix right, the rest of it's cake. Because it will lay down just like it's been sprayed on, even though we're putting it on with a foam roller and then tipping it with a China brush. What we're going to do here is I'm just going to pour this one right in the tray, because it's already got some 333 in it. And it's kind of ready to rock and roll. Seeing how this is the second coat, it's a little warmer than it was yesterday when we did the first coat. What we're going to do here is we're going to pour half this quart in here, 16 ounces. We're going to want 1.6 ounces, 10%. I probably just put about 11 or 12% in there, but this stuff evaporates quick, so it goes away pretty fast. Is this your tipping mix?
Yes, it is. It's a little thick.
Yep. The tipping mix typically is 60% paint, 40% 333. All it's for is to keep the brush wet, to knock the little bubbles off the paint that the foam roller leaves behind. The big thing is with this stuff is making sure it's well mixed. Yeah, look at that. Nice and thin right away. Ready to rock and roll with the tipping mix. I get my roller mix right. You want to make sure you stir this 333 in really good. It's really close to the same chemical composition as the actual thinner, which is the base of the paint. But it has a type of oil in it, kind of similar to Penetrol, which lets the paint lay down after you put brush marks in it, which is kind of cool. Once you get this stuff all mixed up pretty, we'll fill our tray. That's probably enough for damn near the whole one side of the boat right there. But before we paint, of course, there's always one more mixture you got to worry about once you get all your stuff ready. We'll get onto that one here in just a moment. Red Tree Fine Foam Roller. Quality stuff here. Almost leaves no bubbles. Makes the job a whole lot easier than it would have been using a cheap Walmart or a Home Depot roller. Now we're going to make the really important part of this whole paint job rock and roll, and that's the correct mix here. The correct mix here is 2 ounces of rum to about 20 ounces of Pepsi. So you're still at the 10% mix. Although I may have poured 3 ounces in here, doesn't matter. A steady hand never hurts when you're painting. And now, I believe we are close to being ready to paint. Most important part of the day. Good mix. So we're going to gear up here with our anal exam gloves. Mike will probably cut this out like he did the last video, but the word of the day is lube. I love the word lube. And he did cut it out the last video. Hopefully he'll leave it in this one. Of course, we're not going to lube up anything except for the hull of this boat. And well, the lube being the 10% 333 we just put in the paint. Alright, I think we're ready to rock and roll here. Is your brush clean and ready to go?
Sure is.
Nice and soft?
Yes, it is.
Well, off to the starboard side of, I don't know what the boat's name is, but it's a little 27 Catalina. We're going to go start on the starboard side. Come on, Mike, follow us around over here.
What you doing, Taro?
Now, yesterday when we put the first coat on, we went long ways with the roller and up and down with the tipping brush. All the tipping brush does, what he's doing there with the straw, is he's picking any tiny little bugs, particulate matter, or whatever, out of the paint, and then he tips it always the opposite direction of how you roll it. That's where you get the shine. So today we're rolling up and down, which is the opposite of yesterday, and he'll be tipping it side to side, always starting from the top and tipping his way down. Only place that I have to go side to side is this rub rail, because you have to get right up in that gap and you really can't slack and miss anything, because if you do, you will definitely see it down the road. I'm going to do these in small swashes at a time, because if I do the little small swashes at a time, it makes it really easy for him to come in behind and tip. And it doesn't look like I'm leaving a whole lot for you to tip. It's rolling out pretty smooth. Important thing with this is leaving a wet line. You got to keep going. Once you start, if you stop and that line of paint dries, I don't care what you do, you're not getting around it. You will see it in the paint job. But if you overlap with each little section you do, you don't end up with a whole lot of that to deal with. See, I go overlap.
Ain't no bubbles.
So we have a nice wet line to come back to with the next swipe.
No bubbles. There's
Got this mix pretty close to right because we don't have any bubbles at all. I think a lot of that is these high-end rollers too. These guys seem to do their job better than cheapos you get at Walmart or Home Depot. And with the right amount of 333, as you can see, the stuff lays down just like you shot it, which is the desired effect. Don't be showing no pirate crack. Don't laugh. I'll paint you.